In this video, show you how to change a tire if you got a flat tire on the side of the road. So the first thing you want to do is put your emergency brake on. This car has a foot operated one that you just press down. That'll stop the car from rolling when you put it up in the air. Next thing, usually spare tires are in the trunk. So pop your trunk. And they're usually underneath the carpet. You might have to unscrew something to release it, but pull that out. And here's the spare tire. Take that out. And there should be a tire iron, maybe like this one, or it might be a folding one too. It depends on what kind of car you got. And then you're going to take the rest of this stuff out too. This is your jack that you're going to be using to lift the car up. So after you get everything out of the trunk, we're going to jack up the front on this like if this tire was flat. You have to find a spot to put the jack under the car where it's supposed to go. Usually it'll be marked, and these stock jacks usually have a groove in them that metal sits in so the car doesn't slide off. And some of them might have this attached handle, and some of them you might have to crank up with the tire. So on this car, the jack spot is outright, let's see, right here. It's not marked on this or anything. So you're going to want to crank the jack up so that piece of metal sits inside of it. So now that the jack is at the right spot, I haven't lifted the car up at all yet. You found your spot. You have to come over here to the tire. Now, before you put the car up in the air, you have to break all the lug nuts, because if you jack it up beforehand, the car will just rock back and forth when you try to loosen it. So each one of these you have to go along, turn to the left, and get them loosened up a little bit. Alright, now that you've got those all loosened up so you can pretty much spin them with your hand, you come over to your jack and you turn it until the wheel comes off the ground. So now that you have the tire off the ground, you lifted the car up enough, you can unscrew the rest of these lug nuts, all of them completely off. So now that you've got all the lug nuts off, you pull the flat tire completely off. You're going to want to put it in the trunk and lift the spare tire into place. And then you take all the lug nuts and tighten them down to where you can't hand tighten them anymore. Once you have all these hand tightened down while the wheel is up in the air, just make sure it's not rocking back and forth. And then you're ready to drop the car back down to the ground. So now that you've got the wheel back on the ground and the whole weight of the car is back on the wheel, you have to go around in a star pattern to tighten up the lug nuts. So you're going to want to go from here to here to here, there, and then there when you tighten these up, so it all tightens down evenly. And you tighten them up pretty much as you can. Then once you've done that, go ahead and double check them all again. Make sure that they're tight. And then the last thing that you have to do is release your emergency brake and throw everything back in the trunk and get to a tire place so you can get your tire fixed or changed.